Life's Learning Curve. Number 99. Sync.
When we were in high school back in late 70s, we had this opportunity. The music reflected it, society reflected it. It was that this generation, that particular generation back then, my generation, we could change things. It was in the music. We can change the world. We can make things happen. Heck, my class song was called We Can Make It Happen, or Dialogue Part 1, Part 2 by Chicago. So after all these years, well, it's not the 1970s anymore, but after all these years, I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, did we make it happen? Did we change things? Did we make the world better?
Welcome back to Life's Learning Curve. Storytelling. Our own life stories, full of humor, some cringeworthy moments, and at times, a grander purpose. Did you ever wonder just how you became the person you are today? That's us. Storytelling. And now, our host. Here's Paul Hardt.
You know, every once in a while, life sends you a postcard from your past. You might hear a song on the radio, or you might smell something. Hopefully it's a good smell. An old yearbook photo, if you're looking at a yearbook, or an old photo album where your haircut looks like it needed its own support group. I'm still dealing with that one. And suddenly, you know, bam, you're back. In your head, you're back to when that photo took place, back in high school. Back to those polished hallway floors where we strutted around like we had, like we had any idea of what we were becoming and who we were becoming. But the truth is that none of us knew. Not even the adults walking around pretending that the adults, they all had it figured out. Nah. In my high school, our class song was titled We Can Make It Happen, or actually it was called Dialogue Part 1 and Part 2 by the band Chicago. And give that song a listen if you haven't heard it before, Dialogue Part 1 and Part 2. It's a good song. Copyright keeps me from playing it here today, but give it a listen. But that song had the chorus of We Can Make It Happen. Yeah, we can make it happen. So when I hear that song, I think, and I ask myself, well, did we really make it happen? We're so optimistic when we're like 18 years old, 16, 17, 18 years old. Yeah, we can make it happen. That's really proactive. Well, it's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. You should be proactive at that age, and at all ages. But did we make it happen? So I sat and thought about it a lot. We had a recent class reunion, and we all were kind of throwing that around. Did we turn out to be those people, the teenagers we were back then, hoped we'd become?
Life's Learning Curve, Episode 99. Did we really make it happen? Stand by.
They say memory's a funny thing. It slides around like a radio station, just barely between channels. And every once in a while, you gotta fine-tune it more precisely to make things clear. But when you do, and you do it right, like I said before, bam, you're back. For me, the year was 1975, 1974. And it's back to a version of me in high school who lived like every hallway was a runway and every bell was a starter pistol for something or something going on somewhere. I was 16, half dreamer, half disaster. A kid powered by jamming with friends, amplifier tubes, and Rico's Pizza from downtown Elgin. I floated between worlds. In the mornings, I seemed to be hanging out more with band Paul, kids from band, carrying metal drumsticks in a case, plastered with these peeling WLS Chicago radio stickers, trying to pretend I practiced more than I actually did. By lunchtime, I was football Paul. That's who I sat with, walking the halls wearing my game day jersey if it was game day. It made me look a lot tougher than I really was. smelling faintly of wintergreen and liniment and teenage overconfidence. And after school, if there wasn't football practice, I became Rock Band Paul. Rock Band Paul. Rehearsing in somebody's basement that always had too many extension cords, occasional electric sparks, blown fuses, living freely and not nearly enough ventilation. True, yes, also true. Tight basements. And my hair was pure 1970s Freddie Prinze, feathered, glorious, wild, sensitive halo. My confusion was a permanent state of confusion. It was a mashup of bell-bottoms and big collared shirts and track team sweats and whatever my mom insisted was clean. Basically like being dressed by a department store committee. My social life, pretty simple. A Venn diagram of marching band friends, friends from rock band, my band and stuff, and the guys from football who always seemed surprised I could play an instrument and run a decent mile. But the people I really gravitated toward, they were still kind of the same. They were the quiet comedy crew, not the goofy middle school jokesters that we kind of grown out of that by then. By high school, our humor had evolved. We were more subtle, more to ourselves, kind of underground. The kind you had to lean in to hear. We'd trade National Lampoon issues like they were top secret documents. Slip a Firesign Theater quote into a conversation to see who else also might get it. And our laughter wasn't loud anymore. It was that soft, conspiratorial chuckle you give when you know you've heard something hilarious and brilliant and stupid. And absolutely perfect for a 16-year-old philosopher who thought they were smarter than they were. We laughed knowingly. Clever conversations, we thought, inside jokes, and kind of an underground, a comedy club that existed only between classes. And I guess those were my people. Not strange. Not loud. Just kind of out of step with the rest of the world in the most wonderful way, I thought. And underneath all that noise, the sports, the band, the basement amplifiers, humming like beehives, was a kid. That was me. I felt like something big was waiting just outside the gym doors. Something good. Something mine. I didn't know what it was. Couldn't tell yet. But I was sure, absolutely sure, it was coming. The gym that held the world for me. I guess at its best, it was Elgin High School in the winter. Friday nights, Saturday nights, basketball games in the freshly varnished Fieldhouse Gymnasium where Steve, Ed, and I, or the three of us, I should say, played in the pep band, loud, raucous, contemporary music. Every Friday night, it felt like the moment things would start. In a way, they did. In that gym before the ball game, the crowd entered by the pep band door where we set up. The kids, some of them smelled like cigarette smoke. Some smelled like other kind of smoke. Oh, and then there was me, who smelled like clean clothes and burgers on the grill, thanks to my mom and dad. I wore contact lenses back then, and my eyes were always overly sensitive when in spaces using big blowers or fans and ventilation systems. And in that gym, yeah, it was like massive blowers. The result was red eyes. I still get red eyes when I'm in wind. Red eyes for me when I was in that gym. And I often got from people,
dude, look at your eyes. I know what you're smoking.
Wacky tobacco.
Right?
but the reality was for me, I didn't like smoke. I didn't like cigarette smoke. It irritated my eyes. The only smoke I ever really got was being smoked by a burger from our family's Weber kettle.
Like I already said.
My high school team, well, we were called the Maroons. Our team mascot was a color. And before any of us knew what a maroon even was, and we still don't, let me tell you, that gym smelled like adrenaline and teenage optimism. It was brand new. It was a rebuilt school, but it kept those Smells. Back then, life felt like a rocket just waiting for ignition. If you wandered into Elgin High School on a winter Friday night way back then, you probably would have thought, if you looked at us, that we were these confident guys, you know. Lots of noise, playing loud with the drums, the lights in the gym, the pep band, we were playing hard and loud and confident, like, you know, like we thought we could have solved adulthood before halftime. But confidence? No, not really. See, what we had back then was, it was motion, it's perpetual motion. And at 16, motion felt a lot like purpose. There I was, standing there with my best buddies, Ed and Steve, and from the drum sections, we had our drums, our marching drums strapped on. Our hearts were beating just a little bit faster than the music, probably, too. And it wasn't because anybody was watching us, but because someday, everyone might be watching us. That gym just didn't hold a basketball game for us. It held our best guesses of what we should be doing and where we should be at that time. Our quiet, personal promises. It was every half-formed, half-baked idea about ourselves and who we thought we were and who we thought we might become.
Hey, Steve. What? You ever think that tonight, this is it? This might be one of those moments, one of those, like, we can make it happen moments? Like we're achieving something?
What?
Something we'll talk about when we're, like, old men. Yeah, but I'm going to remember what I did this afternoon when I tried to rebuild both my Ludwig drum kits into one massive set. I did that today, and I still couldn't find the hi-hat. And I had two of them. Let me tell you, Paul, history will not be kind to today.
And then Ed said to us,
Statistically speaking, most big moments age poorly, but you're allowed to hope anyway.
see, that was our rhythm back then. Our high school rhythm. If fear showed up, if anything conflicting showed up, we just joked about it and we slid it under the bleachers.
I just don't want to mess things up, you know?
Yeah,
Like, wake up someday and I realize that I never really tried. I tried hard enough. I never went for it.
You already are, Paul. That's why it feels so heavy.
Yeah, if this were easy, we'd be home watching the Brady Bunch or eating something my mom made us.
We laughed, but you know what? Underneath it all was the quiet truth we didn't yet have words for. Oh sure, we were aware of peaking too early, scared of never peaking at all. High school wasn't carefree, it was hope with a knot in its stomach. Optimism fueled by caffeine, bad decisions, and just enough belief. Just enough to keep it going. We used humor a lot because it traveled lighter than fear. That's a good way to say it. It traveled lighter. We played loud on the drums because silence asked questions we weren't ready to answer. And standing there with our drumsticks raised, ready to go, seeing that gym packed with people, the lights were buzzing, warm on our faces. We probably looked like kids who knew exactly who they were. Oh yeah, really confident. But really? We were the kids brave enough to show up and trust that trying might be enough for back then. And somehow, it was. We didn't know how to make it happen back then. But I'll tell you what, we wanted to. Beginnings have shadows too. Shadows that clung close to the edges of our teenage glow, even if we didn't have the vocabulary to name them. First, there was Tom, who joked louder than anyone else at lunch. Tom, because home was a place where silence kept the peace, and laughter was safer in public than behind closed doors. There was Linda, that straight-A overachiever student that carried her report cards like armor, terrified that anything less than perfection might be the one thing that finally made her parents stop noticing her. And there was Ken, the kid who showed up early every day, not for school spirit, but because the hallways felt warmer and kinder than the apartment he went back to each night. Shadows. Even then, even when the world insisted we were too young to know what heaviness felt like.
My shadows.
Well, that was a question I didn't know I'd carry with me for decades.
My
back then.
shadows.
What if I never actually make it happen?
Shadows. What if?
Yeah. What if all this potential becomes unused inventory?
Waste.
Lost loves and lost years. Now in high school, love, I'm using my fingers for air quotes right now, was everywhere and nowhere. Mostly in the form of crushes I didn't understand and breakups that hit like a focused linebacker.
Welcome to Burns Drugstore Soda Fountain. Sit down and I'll have a seat downtown. Oh, it's you, Paul.
Hi.
How you doing, buddy? How's the high school team? What can I get you, Paul?
Hi, Mr. Burns. Yeah, the team's doing pretty well. You know, read the papers. Hey, could I have one chocolate malt, please?
Okay. Anything else going on in your life? You seem kind of down.
My girlfriend broke up with me, Mr. Burns.
Okay.
She took all my albums. I feel like my civilization's collapsing.
Uh-huh. You want a straw with that?
Okay, yeah, Mr. Burns. Thanks. You know what? I'm glad to know that you're here.
Okay. You kids get out of here. Get away from the magazines. Put down the candy unless you're gonna buy it. Those newspapers are for buying, not reading. It's a nice day outside, boys. Just get out. Okay.
Some loves faded, some aren't even names now. Just locker numbers burnt into memory like graffiti in an old school desktop carved in. But heartbreak has this funny way of shaping the future. Even when you're convinced it's the end of the world, life keeps shuffling forward. And the question, that dark little stowaway question, what if you never really make it happen? Then my life changed shape. I was older. I got older. By my mid-30s, education, marriage, kids, family, jobs, new dreams shifting like the Midwest weather. Sunny, stormy, sunny again. I was overwhelmed and busy all the time. Okay, I got this for today. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna teach all day. I'm gonna coach until 5, and then band rehearsal. Then I go to graduate school, and that gets out about 10 o'clock at night. Then I have got editing to do on the documentary until, if I can edit till midnight, that would be good. So, teach, coach, band rehearsal, graduate school, edit. Got it. Can I do all of that? Sure, yeah, I can do it all. But what if you never make it happen?
Am I making a difference?
Not now. I'm busy. I'm really busy. Are you really doing something? Or are you just surviving?
Am I making a difference?
Now that is the conflict that carried me longer than I'd admit. Success came in strange sizes, some big, some small. During that time frame, I really upped my video production business and did a lot of writing as well. A couple screenplays sold, a couple documentaries made, commercials, sports shows. 35 years also of children's programming, which I'm very proud of. And 8 years of a podcast these days built entirely on the question, how did we become the people we are? How did we get this way?
Yeah.
The best us. But Paul, did you really make it happen?
Did I?
But I didn't know. I didn't know. Not for a really long time. Where am I now? And what's ahead? And then one day I taught my final class. I was done with education. I walked out with a box under my arm and the halls were silent. I loved that career. Not a job, it was a great career. Retirement was a word that sounded like a door closing. But I was wrong. But it turned out to be a window that hadn't opened even yet. East Dundee, 2 grown-up kids, Heidi and Riley, Mia, our dog. I have a couple of grandsons I get to cheer for on the fields that we once ruled. I found myself waking up not tired, but excited. I felt opportunities, learning, pivoting. Turns out retirement doesn't mean that you're just done. It means you get to choose your own battles, have your own adventures. But what about it? Did you make it happen? Well, yeah. I think I did, yeah. But it's not because everything went smoothly, because of course it didn't. Life doesn't go smoothly or perfectly. But it's because I'm still curious. I'm still creating things. I'm producing things and working with some kind of music. I'm advising people. I'm mentoring people.
Wild.
That was all new for me. It comes with age. If people ask, I can advise them. Still laughing. And I finally, here's probably the most important thing, I finally know when it's time to leave a group text. Important to know. So what did we learn? What did I learn after all these years? Okay, well, I think it's this. The older I get, the more I realize something they never told us in high school. There is no one definition of making it happen. What is it anyway? There's no scoreboard on this thing called life, no final exam, no magic moment where a bell rings and you get to shout, I did it! I made it happen! Kind of stupid. Sometimes making it happen looks like raising good kids, or showing up for your friends, or finding love after heartbreak, or creating things, writing stories, making music, memories that didn't exist before you put your hands on them. And sometimes it's just not surviving long enough to laugh about all the times you didn't think you would do those things. I'm never gonna do that. Well, you did. So if you're listening right now and wondering about your own life, your own trail of footprints, I hope you see it in the way that I see it. Finally, I have to say finally, because I didn't always see things this way. We made it happen by living, by trying, by stumbling and fumbling and getting back up, having that courage to get back up, by loving people fiercely, even when it hurts, by becoming ourselves slowly, imperfectly, beautifully, right? So here we go. This is like a toast. Here's to the kids we were, and here's to the adults that we became, and here's to the stories we're still writing. We can make it happen.
Through the uncertainty and say tried to make it happen.
For Life's Learning Curve, I'm Paul Hardt.
Subscribe to Life's Learning Curve at lifeslearningcurve.org and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or Podchaser.
This Season 7 episode of Life's Learning Curve was produced by Sebastian T., Dog, and Paul Hardt. Find us just about everywhere podcasts are heard. Visit our website, lifeslearningcurve.org. While you're there, subscribe. We'd love to have you aboard. This episode has imaginative voice creations to protect the privacy of others. Some names have been changed and characters conflated. Episode 99. Did we really make it happen? For more true stories from our life's archives, you'll find us again right here on Life's Learning Curve.
We're clear.